Welcome to Explore Music, where we will discover and learn about traditional and cultural music of the world you may not have heard of. Today, we're exploring the music and dance of traditional Iceland. Iceland is a Nordic country in the North Atlantic Ocean. Its geography consists of spectacular mountains, glaciers, and even active volcanoes. Norsemen traveled over 900 miles of cold waters from Scandinavia to Iceland between the 8th and 10th centuries. Archaeological evidence, though, suggests that Irish monks may have actually settled in Iceland nearly a century before any Vikings reached its shore. Ingólfur Arnarson is recognized as the first permanent Norse settler of Iceland. The country's present-day capital, Reykjavik, is said to have been founded by him in 874 AD. By the year 1000, Iceland was Christianized, but only because of heavy pressure from Norwegian king Olaf Tryggvason. The settlers had been worshipping Norse gods for centuries before, and were not quickly converted as a population. By the 1100s, though, the Old Icelandic language had its own distinctive dialect from its Norwegian roots. In the 1300s, a new form of Icelandic literature was being developed and recorded called rímur. Rímur are a type of rhythmic, stanzaic poetry that tell epic stories using alliteration and rhymes. It evolved from Old Norse poetry, namely the Eddaic and Skaldic poetry of the early Middle Ages. Spoken verse rímur quickly began being sung in melodious strains, preserving the Icelandic traditions of oral history. The parallel motion of perfect or open fourths and fifths in Nordic music originated from plain chant melodies of churches in the early Middle Ages. Most traditional Nordic music is in Western modes, such as Phrygian or Lydian. Listen to this recording of Steindór Andersson and Sigurður Sigurðarson performing a two-part rímur piece for the film titled Voices of Iceland.
Grána kampar græði á, gjálpir hampa skörum. Títra glampar til og frá, tífur skvampa í fjörum. Ögra læt mér ægislið, upp úr sæti malar. Ránar dætur dansa við, deigum fæti kjalar.
While rímur has an ancient history of telling epic tales of old, they are now used to tell jokes or play linguistic games. Rímur is even used in light-hearted jabs in modern Icelandic politics. Besides rímur, Iceland was mostly a musical quiet country for many years. Due to its isolation from most other peoples, Icelandic settlers had little musical influence from surrounding cultures at the time. They were mostly poor farmers and fishermen with little free time to explore culture and music during medieval times compared to most of Europe. Despite these hardships, Icelanders did happen to create two native instruments, the langspiel and the Icelandic fiddle. The langspiel is by far more well known, but still its first source of existence dates only back to the late 1700s. Both of these instruments come from the zither family. They are both bowed and have multiple strings, ranging from 1 to 6, but most commonly langspiels have 3 strings and fiddles have 2. Each instrument has their drone strings and 1 melody string. The main difference is that the langspiel has a fretboard for the finger to slide on the melody string and can be strummed or plucked. The fiddle is more unusual in the way it's played. Instead of a fretboard, the strings are grasped or touched by the fingers to create pitches. Here is an example of the Icelandic fiddle. Along with its own vocal styles, Iceland developed its own cultural dance known as the Vikivaki. Vikivaki comes from a Scandinavian tradition of dancers singing to their own a cappella songs. Vikivaki is performed in a 2/4 time meter and is danced in a circle of people. For more instructional footage and information about the Vikivaki dance, I recommend viewing the sites in the video description below. Since Iceland was so isolated during the development and discoverings of the world, it didn't produce many renowned classical composers until the late 19th century. Considered the first Icelandic classical composer, Sveinbjörn Sveinbjörnsson studied music in Germany and Denmark during the mid-1800s. In 1874, Sveinbjörnsson composed Lofsöngur, which means "O God of our lands." The piece became recognized as the national anthem of Iceland in 1944, 17 years after Sveinbjörnsson's death. Other notable composers of the mid to late 1800s include Sigvaldi Kaldalóns, Sigfús Einarsson, and Emil Þóroddsson, who were best known for their songs with a piano accompaniment. Jan Leifs, born in 1899, became a very established composer, pianist, and conductor. He composed many great works, often titled in Icelandic and influenced by Icelandic folk songs. A movie about his life, titled Tears of Stone, was produced in Iceland in 1995. Throughout the 20th century, Iceland's popular music has been a fusion of folk and pop flair. Some well-known artists include Björk, Sigur Rós, and Gus Gus. Thanks for watching Explore Music Iceland. For more information about Iceland's traditional music, be sure to check out the links in the description of additional resources and footage. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Explore Music. You can also check out our website at exploremusiconline.weebly.com to contact and support us.